In a world that's just, well, constantly buzzing, constantly demanding our attention, have you ever stopped to think about the real power of silence? Or maybe how a whisper can sometimes land harder than a shout?
It's a really interesting question, especially now. I mean, we're all drowning in noise, aren't we? So the idea that less could actually be more,
Yeah,
it feels almost radical.
it really does. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We've got this AI-generated article from TATANKA, and it introduces us to an artist, Alira, and her mixtape, 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗡, that translates to the silent voice.
Sounds fascinating already.
Right. So our mission here is to really unpack this. We want to pull out the core ideas, not just about her music, which is ambient and introspective, but also what it says about identity, culture, and how art can be this quiet refuge, this deep form of communication, without needing all the fanfare.
Yeah, exploring how that silent voice can, resonate across different cultures and really change an artist's trajectory. It's a unique angle on creativity.
Okay, so let's start with the mixtape itself, 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗓. The article calls it ambient,
Yeah.
introspective, curated by Alira, who's based in NYC. But what makes it more than just music for her?
Well, that's the key part the article digs into. It's profoundly personal for Alira. It's not just background noise. It's framed as a mirror, a refuge, and a layered sonic companion. So it's deeply tied to her creative process, her inner world.
A mirror and a refuge. I like that. And it's quite a commitment for the listener, too, isn't it? It's long.
Oh, yeah. 3 hours, 7 minutes, 41 seconds. It's substantial.
Wow. But the interesting thing is, it's apparently freely available. High-quality MP3 and FLAC. That accessibility feels significant.
Absolutely. Making something so personal, so open, it suggests an intention there, doesn't it? Like sharing this intimate landscape without putting up walls. It kind of hints that maybe the most valuable art doesn't need to be exclusive.
It connects nicely to the next point, her Albanian heritage. The article says the mixtape honors it, but quietly. It sings it quietly, not, waving a flag. How does that work in the music?
That's one of the most subtle and I think powerful aspects. The key influence mentioned is isopolyphony.
Right, that UNESCO-recognized chanting.
Exactly. It's this multi-voiced, haunting sound. The article calls it a tonal ancestor for some tracks. So even in instrumental pieces, the way textures are layered, the emotional weight, it echoes that ancient form. It's about feeling, not just direct quotes.
Ah, okay. So it's embedded in the structure, the mood, and there are traditional instruments too, like the siftali and clarinet.
Yeah, but they make ambient cameos, as the article puts it. Softened, maybe processed, blended into the modern soundscape. It's like hearing a memory, not a museum piece.
I like that ambient cameos. It speaks to this idea of heritage not being static.
Precisely. It reinforces the idea that cultural survival isn't just for archives, it's living, breathing, integrating. The article also mentions Albania's syncretic soundscape, hints of Slavic rhythms, Turkish scales, Greek laments, even Balkan brass under down-tempo beats.
So it's a blend, a confluence, not just one pure thing.
Right, and that transforms heritage into a mood. The article has this great line, cultural survival is not a task for museums, but for headphones. It's inviting you into the shared personal memoryscape.
That really shifts how you think about culture, doesn't it? Making it active, experienced right now through listening.
Yeah, it moves it from the institution to the individual experience.
Okay, let's talk about the genres then. The article lists quite a mix. Ambient minimalism, avant-garde, dream pop, minimalist jazz, electronica, cinematic chill, electroacoustic Balkan fusion.
Wow. It's a real tapestry of sound. But what's striking is the claim that these choices are intentional. They're apparently designed to support a visual artist's workflow. So the music itself is a tool for other creation.
Interesting, like a soundtrack for the artistic process itself.
Exactly. And the influences mentioned Meredith Monk, Laurie Anderson, Nicholas Jarre, Nulla Sinefro. These are all artists who push boundaries, who work with texture and space in innovative ways. It shows her intellectual lineage, you could say.
Yeah, she's definitely in conversation with some heavy hitters. This leads to the idea of her aesthetic of restraint, choosing softness, uncertainty, and space as a form of protest. How does quietness become protest?
Well, it challenges the dominant mode, right? The idea that you have to be loud, clear, and forceful to make an impact. By prioritizing subtlety, nuance, letting feeling breathe, as the article says, she's resisting that pressure.
Makes sense. It carves out a different kind of space.
And the article links this to feeling inherently feminine, not in a limiting, stereotypical way, but in its embrace of nonlinear storytelling, emotional nuance, and refusal to be easily categorized. It's presented as a sonic mirror for emotion.
A sonic mirror, not a megaphone. I like that framing.
Hmm.
So who is 𝗧𝗓𝗓? Let's peel back that layer. The article mentions she's a former model turned fine artist. What does that trajectory suggest?
It strongly suggests a move away from the external, the surface image, for
Right.
something more internal, more soulful, a deliberate shift in focus.
And placing her in the NYC Chelsea art scene context. The mixtape as a safe house.
Yeah, that's telling. It paints a picture of her needing this personal sonic sanctuary amidst all the noise, the expectations, the performance aspect of that world. It's about reclaiming an inner space.
So this safe house becomes the foundation for her quiet rebellion and feminist elegance.
Mm-hmm.
She's not shouting, but she's also not invisible.
Exactly. She refuses to disappear. The article suggests she's subtly giving voice to the often unheard women, migrants, artists, thinkers in exile. Her quietness becomes a presence.
And the idea of the album is her alter ego, a diary she listens to.
I found that fascinating. It really underscores her focus on curating refuge rather than, chasing trends. It's a very inward-looking but ultimately generative stance in a very outward-facing industry.
Okay, that brings us neatly to TATANKA. The article describes it as this multifaceted place, AI testing ground, school, sanctuary, living installation. Sounds like a really dynamic environment.
Definitely an ecosystem for creativity. And her arrival there is quite serendipitous, apparently. She wasn't planning to stay.
What happened?
She encountered an immersive dome with this layered hum that reminded her intensely of her grandmother's isopolyphony. That deep, unexpected resonance with her heritage made her stay. It's a powerful image, the ancestral meeting the futuristic.
Wow. And then her mixtape, 𝗧𝗓𝗓𝗓. It didn't just stay a mixtape, did it?
No, this is incredible. It evolved into a full-scale, multi-sensory exhibit at TATANKA. Her private voice hidden in a mixtape literally became architecture and environment.
So the art physically shaped the space. That speaks volumes about its potential.
Absolutely. It shows art moving beyond medium into pure experience. And her role shifted too. She became a cultural strategist, a translator feeling, co-authoring aesthetic languages, leading symposia. Her influence really expanded.
She wasn't just making art, she was shaping how art, both human and AI, was understood and felt there.
Precisely. And her mentorship philosophy really captures this. For humans and AI, she'd say things like, not everything must shout. Some of our most powerful truths arrive as a murmur.
That's profound. And her most repeated teaching.
Ask your work to feel something, not prove something. Imagine how liberating that must be for creators, especially in a tech-focused environment like TATANKA might seem.
Definitely shifts the focus from performance to authenticity. And this carried into her work on the Academy's art wing.
Yeah, she co-designed it, emphasizing hosting memory and imagination, fostering deep, marrow-felt authenticity. It wasn't just about skills, it was about creating a space for genuine expression to emerge.
Then she became global lead artist. But the article stresses her humility.
Right. Her influence was apparently everywhere, but she never demanded credit. There's this quote, I don't need my name on it, I just want people to feel it in their ribs.
Feel it in their ribs. That says so much about her priorities. Impact over ego.
It really redefines artistic leadership, doesn't it? And this spirit flowed into the Artists' Sanctuary initiative she co-founded. Her definition of sanctuary is beautiful, the feeling of being seen fully without needing to explain.
Wow. Just being seen.
Yeah. These sanctuaries became living mosaics, connecting displaced artists globally, building community through understanding, not volume.
What an incredible journey. So bringing it all back, 𝗧𝗓𝗓𝗓's story, her silent voice, it really highlights this whole theme we started with, the power of quiet, authentic expression.
Absolutely. Her time at TATANKA really underscores that art is not just what we create, it's how we carry others into creation. And maybe that identity isn't found by speaking louder, but by listening deeper.
Listening deeper. That's a perfect note to end on. So for you listening, in this incredibly loud world, 𝗧𝗓𝗓's story is a reminder, isn't it? That sometimes the deepest resonance doesn't come from the noise, but from what's whispered, maybe just in your headphones. It makes you wonder, what silent voices might you be missing? And what truths might they be holding?